I knew Matis since I was about 20, 21 years old. I had come to learn in the yeshiva in Chaim, Berlin, headed by Lustrous Rosh Yeshiva of Yitzchak Hutner Zochon Levocha. And he was one of the top bochrim. The top bochrim were David Cohen and Yonason David and Yaakov Perlov. And he was one of the top boys. He was their friend. They'd gone to school all through high school together with them, and was considered one of the choshev bochrim. He had one problem, and that was that he stuttered. He had a special quality that he always had opinions, strong opinions about things, often different from other people. And he was able to articulate these opinions, and people listened to him, respected him. He was interested in everything that took place in the Jewish people, and also what took place in the non-Jewish world. I remember we were walking down the street once, and there was an election campaign for governor. One of Franklin D. Roosevelt's children, I forgot his name, was running for governor. So it was a big rally on the streets of Brooklyn. And he walked over to Franklin this Roosevelt and gave him his opinions about what he should be doing. None of us would ever think of doing that. But he had his opinions, and he went over and told him things he shouldn't be doing the way that he's doing. Because of that fault that he had, that he stuttered, he was not able to go on to the positions that his friends held. He became big Marbitzei Torah later on in life. It wasn't possible for him to be a teacher, to be a Rov. So he became a civil service worker. He had his hours 9 to 5. He worked for the Social Security Service, and was an ordinary balabos. I remember he used to get up about 5 o'clock in the morning to learn before going to work, a seder before davening, and when he finished work at 5 o'clock, he didn't go home. He went to the Beis Medrash and had a seder till about 8:30 or 9. Then went home to eat supper. We parted ways. This was about 1961. I left to go to Israel, and he had just about gotten married then. We parted ways. I had no contact with him. One day in Yerushalayim, I walked into my study in my home, and look who's sitting in my seat in the study. Matis. I'm so happy to see him. I hadn't seen him for over 20 years. We embraced, and we sat down. I wanted to reminisce with him. He didn't want to reminisce. He said, no, I don't want to talk about anything. I want to talk and learning with you. He asked me a kasha on the Gemara that he learned, and while talking to him, I saw that the man had accomplished something in that schedule of 5 a.m. in the morning, and the Beis Medrash from 5 p.m. until about 8:30 at night. He had an idea in all of Shas, the clarity. He was a brilliant person, the clarity, the memory of it all. He had accomplished so much. I wish I had accomplished as much as he had in these 20 years. The next contact we had was, he told me now that he retired after 20 years in the Social Security, he's going to retire and sit and learn all day. But he was too active, too interested in the public welfare, just to sit still and just to sit and learn. He sat and learned. He became an associate editor of Jewish Action magazine. His capacity was he had to get people to write articles for this Jewish Action magazine, which was the organ of the OU. He had to think of ideas, also what types of articles to write. He was very good. He coaxed me into writing articles for this magazine, called me up, gave me ideas, and many of the articles that I wrote as a result of his coaxing and his direction became very famous articles. And so it went, our relationship by phone from America until he moved to Israel. I don't remember what year that was, but in Israel he moved into an area where my daughter lived. We used to meet very often. I went to visit him. He had a apartment where on the ground floor he had a machsan, a storage room, which he converted into a study, jam-packed with sforim, not just stam sforim, rare sforim, and Sforim that are interesting. He was always had interesting opinions about everything. He had all kinds of different Sforim in different fields that an ordinary person does not have. If we ever to pull out some sefer and cite some opinion, some obscure opinion, which no one even knew about. He did not care what other people thought about him. He did what was right. Unfortunately, he got Parkinson's disease. He went into decline. He used to learn B'chavusa with my brother. My older brother used to report to me on his decline and how it was pitiful how his brilliant mind was not able always to remember even facts of that day. And we met. I used to meet him in shul. He was in a wheelchair with his Filipino aide. And I thought to myself, people see American man, with a little beard, on a wheelchair. They don't realize who they have the schus of having in their shul. Matis Greenblatt, what a brilliant, great man he was. That same respect I had for him when he was 21 years old, and the same friendship and love that we had all through our lives together. We'll miss him very sorely. I'm sure he'll be zeiche in Olam Haba to the Torah that he was learned mitoch Mesiras Nefesh and Yigiyah all through his lifetime. HaKadosh Baruch Hu give him Olam Haba, and may his life be a beacon to his family. May they go on his ways. Original, brilliant, but a ben Torah to the core all through his lifetime.